Guys, I finally achieved a goal that I've been working at for the past 7 years. And let me explain what I did and how I got here. So for the past 7 years, I've been pretty much training to be a professional triathlete. And this month, I finally achieved that goal. And I didn't set out this idea, or I didn't really have this idea in my mind that I wanted to even try to be a pro athlete in triathlon until around 2019 or 2020. And during that time, it was COVID, and I wanted to train more. And I wanted to see really what my limits could possibly be. And I enjoyed to bike, but I had never swam competitively in my life. And so I started learning how to swim, and I started to, get on my road bike a little bit more. And I kind of thought that it could be a possibility. I thought that it was probably the easiest path forward if I wanted to keep competing in endurance sports. And so I sat in front of you 1 year ago to the month, and I told you that I had moved to Lake Tahoe. And with that intention, I told you that I was really going to be trying to become a pro triathlete. And I also started working with a coach for the first time, and I started training on a team. I had never worked with a coach before, and up to that point, I had been entirely self-coached. I'd gone through college, and I'd spent most of my early 20s and my late teens training myself. And there was many times when I looked down an empty road or down an empty pool lane in an empty track, and I didn't know what the point exactly was. There really seemed to be no end in sight, and I was just kind of guessing and kind of trying to see where things led me. But I kept improving, and I kept trying to get better. And I learned a lot. And it wasn't, nothing about it was glorious. It was mind-numbingly long and difficult. And this has been probably the single thing that I'm probably most proud of that I've ever achieved in my life. And it wasn't even a super glorious moment of achievement either, because I was just competing throughout the year as normal. But this time I had more intention in my heart and in my brain. And I had people who believed in me and who've backed me, and there's always been people who believed in me and backed me, but there felt like there was more of that this time. And so I'm 25 now, and I feel like this year has been probably one of the best years of my life. So much has changed for me mentally, and I'm so grateful for all the experiences that I've had living up here in Lake Tahoe. And it is wild to me how successful that this endeavor has been for me. And again, it wasn't a glorious year. It was, but at times it was super glorious, actually. I take that back. It was a very glorious year, but it was glorious in the small moments and in the in-between times. And in the companionship, in the friendship, and in the training, and in being in a place that is beautiful and that I've come to love even more. And so, like, with all that being said, it is just a label, but it's a label that has infinite meaning to me and has really directed the last 6-7 years of my life. And but you know, I don't want being an athlete to be my whole identity, and I never have really wanted that to be my whole identity. And I think people offer so much more than just being one thing. And I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in identifying singularly as a certain thing. But that's besides the point. I have no expectations of what this continued journey is going to mean to me. That being said, this year coming up, 2026, I'm going to, of course, be as focused and as dialed in as I've ever been into achieving and just seeing how far that I can go. I still feel like I have so much physically to give. And I just definitely don't feel like I've tapped out my potential yet, which is kind of what I'm here to do. So I almost do feel like anything else is kind of the cherry on top of what I've already been given. And I feel so grateful to be able to even pursue such activities. And it is very validating. And so next year I do plan on, I think, going to Spain for a couple of months and going to train with my coach and the team and stuff, and that seems like what I'm going to try to do. And I don't think I'll make any money from this. Like, that's never been the goal or the intention. Like, I work pretty much a minimum wage job, but I'm rich in my experiences. But I wish I had more money, but I'm rich in my experiences and in what I'm surrounded by, and I am very lucky. So, and I have a lot of people who support me and who have supported me so far. Also being said, oh my God. That being said, I've also just pretty much documented my entire journey here. I've probably recorded myself way too much, and I have way too much video of myself. But you can see the entire journey up to this point of what my life has been like, how much it has changed. And you can look at me now and say, wow, look at him go. You know, everything from just graduating high school to going through community college and to a 4-year college, graduating, getting my degree, being lost, trying to figure things out, and kind of figuring things out a little bit, but just kind of blindly pursuing something that brings me a lot of fulfillment. And, you know, not everybody gets to do this, but I've been given this opportunity, and that's kind of it. That's kind of what I'm out here doing. So I am so beyond grateful for all these opportunities and this year and the many years that have led up to this point. It is so easy to forget. It's just so easy to forget. And especially those tough times, it is so easy to forget. And the good times too. So thank you for watching. And if you've been following my journey for any amount of time, I am so grateful. I'm going to continue, and I think I'm still just getting started. And that's the exciting part. I think I'm just I'm just starting to get my foothold, and we'll see what happens. And that's that.